Hi everyone, thanks for joining me today for this practice. I think you're really going to like this practice. I've got lots of some nice flows and some interesting transitions. So let's get started. Thanks for joining me. Let's begin this morning in child's pose. Just taking this first pose to take the opportunity to drop into our mat, drop our body onto our mat and our mind with our body on the mat. Take whatever version of this pose that you like. As long as you are breathing deep and easy. You're feeling some sensation of lengthening somewhere in your body. And then begin to deepen and lengthen your breath. Really filling the body, filling with air, delivering what it needs. Are ready, let's float up to a tabletop pose and begin to move with our breath. Draw your knees in underneath the hips. Let's take a couple of cat-cows here. Inhaling to lift the belly, the tailbone, drop the belly, hearts forward. So moving the spine like a wave, turn the tailbone down, lift the belly, broaden the shoulders, tuck the chin. Couple more times, just moving through these two poses, moving at your own pace. Just taking your time. Then let's find a neutral pose and come to a melting heart pose. So melting heart pose, we keep our hips over the knees, walk the hands forward. You can put a block or a pillow underneath your chest or just begin to let it melt down towards the mat. Maybe it comes, maybe it doesn't, maybe it makes it to the mat, maybe it doesn't. You can come to your chin or your forehead. Just a nice back bend here, taking it as far as feels good for you. Let's walk the hands back in. Curl your toes under. And come to settle your hips over your heels. Inhale to lengthen up to the crown of the head. If this is too much on your hips or the front of your ankles, you can stand tall on your knees or put your block, take your block from under, that you had under your chest earlier, put it underneath your knees now. Let's inhale the fingertips up. As we exhale, arc to the right hand to the right hip, left hand up and over. Keep that left hip settled square to the front of the mat. Inhale to come up and exhale to the other side. Let your right shoulder blade drop down your back. Stretch through the right side body. Inhale, back up to center. As we exhale, back to tabletop and kick out those feet. Just tap the tops of your feet. Let's curl into those toes again, but this time we'll lift the knees up and back, coming to a downward facing dog. Take your time here about pedaling out your feet. Swing your hips around, shake your head out. And then when you've had enough of that, try this. Bend your elbows down towards the back of your mat and then draw them in towards one another. Feel your shoulders broaden and then press into your hands to straighten those elbows. Lift the hips back a little higher. Nice big breath here. Long, slow exhale. As we inhale, lift the heels, bend the knees, and exhaling to bring your feet to the front of the mat. Inhaling into a halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale to bend the knees, come all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. As we exhale, forward fold all the way down. Halfway lift. As we exhale, soften the knees, fingertips to the mat. Bring your right foot back to the back of the mat. Drop down into that right knee. Plant the right hand and lift the left. Easy twist here. Just turn the chest into the inside of the left knee. We'll stay here and breathe a couple of breaths. Just let your upper hand, your left hand, be heavy and fall back behind you, opening up through just the top of the chest. You can breathe into this, sink the hips a little deeper if you like. And then let's bring that left hand down and make our way back to plank pose. Lift the right knee and step the left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, shoulders forward, and exhale to lower. Halfway or all the way down. Inhale, cobra or up dog, leading with the chest. Now flip over your toes. Use the strength of your core. Lift the hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the right heel. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Give your ankle a couple of turns here. And then inhale to extend. As we exhale, right foot comes forward between the hands. Drop down into that left knee one more time. Sink the hips forward and down, bring your gaze forward. Coming into a real lunge, you're getting a nice stretch along the front of the left hip. And then as we exhale, I want to come to a hamstring stretch. So bring your hips back so they're stacked over your left knee. You can lift your right toes, straightening into that right leg, coming to where it feels straight, but where you're really getting a nice stretch in the back of that leg. So you can walk your hands forward and back to make this comfortable. As we inhale, come forward again, back to your lunge. And then exhale back. So let's flow with this a couple of times, moving between the hamstring stretch and the lunge. Move at your own pace with your own breath. Making these moves as big or as small as feels good for you. And now let's do one more round. And I want to finish with the hamstring stretch. So slide the hips back. You can walk your hands underneath your shoulders for support. So you've got a nice straight leg here. Your right toes are pointing up at the ceiling. And I want you just to let the right inner foot turn towards the floor. So you're turning the toes to the left. And then sweep the toes out to the right. Just do this a couple of times. So you're in effect really moving that your thigh bone inside the pelvis, like you're turning it inside the pelvis, even while we're stretching the hamstring. And this movement of the toes brings the stretch into the hamstring in different ways. Now when you've had enough of that, let's bring ourselves back to the runner's lunge. Curl into your right toes and step them forward to the front of the mat, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, let's rise all the way up to stand. Take our time here. Hands up, you can look up if that feels good. Exhale, hands to heart center, and then all the way down. Find a halfway lift lengthen through the spine. And then as you exhale, left foot stays, it travels to the back of the mat this time. Planting the left knee down, the left hand under the left shoulder, and we'll turn to the twist to the right this time. So lifting the right shoulder over the left, the right fingertips towards the ceiling. You can even perch up on your fingertips of your left hand if you like, giving yourself a little bit more space to twist. Let the right hand be heavy. Let the back of your hand fall back behind you. So you're getting a nice opening in the chest as well as in the hips. And the right hand comes down to the mat. Curl into the left toes. Lift that left knee and send your right foot back to a high plank pose. Inhale, shoulders forward, and exhale to lower halfway or all the way down to the mat. Keep the elbows pulled in as you open the chest now. Cobra or up dog. Exhale back, lifting the hips, downward facing dog. Inhale, left heel floats. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. You can work into that ankle a couple of times. And then inhale to extend the left heel. And exhale to bring that left foot forward between the hands. Right knee comes down to the mat. And we're going to sink the hips forward and down while we reach the chest forward. Perching up on your fingertips once again gives you a little bit of extra space here. Now on your next exhale, let's find this hamstring stretch, bringing the right hip back over the right knee, or both hips back, straightening through the left leg, pulling the left toes up towards the ceiling, and then we can flow with this, bringing ourselves forward on the inhale to a lunge, and exhale back to this hamstring stretch. A couple more times. Just moving through these poses, warming everything up in the body. So this time as we come back, and the next time we come back to the hamstring stretch, let's stay. You can walk your hands in underneath your shoulders. Toes of the left foot are pointing straight up, and with a nice knee that's straight or towards straight, just let your inner foot fall towards the floor, and then you can sweep the toes out to the left. So just getting some rotation of that femur bone right inside the pelvis, even while we're getting a nice stretch to the hamstring, and you can kind of feel that stretch. I don't know about you, I can feel it moving up and down my hamstring as I do this. Then coming back to our runner's lunge, or our kneeling lunge. Let's curl into the back toes and step forward into a halfway lift. Nice big inhale. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, soften the knees and rise all the way up to stand. Hands up, look up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As we exhale, soften the knees, plant the hands. Let's take plank pose. Inhaling, shoulders forward, and exhale to lower halfway or all the way down to the mat. Inhale. Cobra or up dog. Exhale back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift their right heel. As we exhale, bring that right foot forward between the hands. And let's come back to the easy twist. Left hand plants, right hand lifts. Curl into your back toes here. And we're going to maintain the twist as we come up to our vertical lunge. From here, let's sink the hips. And as we exhale, make our way to warrior two. Sweep the right hand forward and down, the left hand up and back, grounding into the left heel. Move around, make your feet comfortable, and let's reverse this warrior. So drop the left hand and reach the right hand up and back. Nice big breath in here. And then as we exhale, extended side angle, right elbow to knee or fingertips to the floor, left hand reaches high. Inhale, warrior two. As we exhale, let's bring the hands down to frame this front foot. Step the right foot back to meet the left, high plank pose. And inhale the shoulders forward. Now try not to hurry too much through these poses, these next two. Exhale to lower halfway down, pull the elbows in, maybe come all the way to the mat. And then so you really take that pose before we turn the chest open and make our way to upward dog or cobra. And then use the strength of the core. Lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift the left heel. Exhale, bend the knee, open the hip. Inhale to extend. And then exhale, bring your left foot forward between your hands. Staying up on the toes of the right foot. Right hand plants, left hand lifts, easy twist. You're gonna hold on to this twist as we lift the shoulders, coming to a twisted lunge. Exhale, sink the hips. And as we inhale, make your way to warrior two. So left hand sweeps forward and forward, right hand sweeps back, up and back, round into the right hand. Exhale, find your warrior two. Pivot on your feet, make yourself comfortable. Inhale, right hand drops, left hand lifts, reversing the warrior. Exhale, extended side angle, right hand down or right elbow to, or left hand down, left elbow to left knee, right hand lifts. Inhale, warrior two. As we exhale, let's cartwheel the hands down to the mat and step your left foot back to meet the right. Inhale, shoulders forward, and exhale to lower halfway or all the way down to the mat. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, lift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale to lift your right heel. As we exhale, we're going to come forward to pigeon pose. So bring your right foot to the front of the mat and then tick-tock it over so it's behind the left hand. Roll to the pinky toe side of your foot and lay your shin down with the right knee behind the right wrist. As your right knee comes down, your heel might slide in towards your body. That's okay. Slide your left leg back. You can keep the toes curled under, or you can put the top of your feet on the mat. I like to stay upright in this pose for just a couple of breaths, letting my hips sink down. And think about it, you can even bring your hands to this left hip and draw that left hip forward. So we don't want to be coming so far down on the right hip that the hips get out of alignment here. So keep pushing that left hip forward and down, even if it means the right hip lifts, or maybe you need to take your block, or you'd like to take your block or your pillow and tuck them underneath that right hip. Let's take one breath to come down. So you can exhale all the way down. Take your time, nice long slow exhale. You can come down to forearms or all the way down with the forehead on the mat. And then inhale, use your hands on the mat to support you as you come up. As you exhale, now let's really roll onto that right hip and pivot so that we're sitting facing the back corner of the mat. Right foot is inside the left leg. And we can inhale to lift the fingertips. As we exhale, twist so you're facing it over the right knee. And left hand comes to the right knee, your right hand reaches up and over. Big stretch here. Keeping that left shoulder underneath you, reaching out with the right hand. Don't worry about getting your toes or reaching your toes. You want to be extending out over your leg. More past the toes then reaching down to the toes. Now let's barrel roll the chest. Now you can release the left hand from the right knee and barrel roll the chest to face the left leg. You can roll down. Let your hands rest on either side of the left shin and just roll down. Nice big breath here. Breathing into the back body and then exhaling to sink a little deeper. Inhale to lift. Fingertips up. As we exhale, let's plant that right hand. We're gonna press into the right hand, the right knee, and the left heel to reach up with the left hand and lift the hips. Now you can reach that left hand up overhead. Rock star pose, big stretch. And then from here, settle the hips back down onto the mat. Take a little twist here, bring both hands to the mat at the front of the mat and begin to lift the hips. Let's make our way back to either tabletop, down dog, or plank. If you're in plank, you can take a vinyasa. Just remember to move slowly between these poses. And exhale back. Inhale to lift the left heel. As we exhale, bring that left foot forward between the hands and lay the shin down. Cross the front of the mat. Left knee is behind left wrist. Left foot is behind right wrist. Just walk that right leg back, sinking the hips as much as it feels good for you. You can choose to prop something underneath your left hip here. Keeping the hips, the right hip now, focusing on keeping the right hip forward and down. Keeping the hip bones, if you can bring your fingertips to both your hip bones, pointing towards the front of the mat. Like I said, I like to stay upright in this pose for just a couple of breaths, letting the weight of my body sink into the hips. And when you've had enough of that, we can begin to walk the hands forward. One breath. So you might use blocks here, or maybe you won't, but one breath down. Again, nice long breath out. And then inhale to come up. This time as you exhale, roll onto that left hip. All the way around. Now you're facing the back left corner of your mat. Left foot is inside the right leg. Let's inhale the fingertips up. As we exhale, turn to face the left knee. Right hand comes to the left knee. Left hand reaches up and over. We're starting to arc into this arc to the right, stretching into the left side body, compressing the right side. Really reaching out with the left fingertips, even while we're pressing the left hip down to the mat. Just breathe through this. And then when you're ready, you can barrel roll your chest down to face the right leg. Let your hands rest on the mat on either side of your leg and let your head drop. When you're ready, come on up to sit. Let's plant the left hand behind the left hip. Now we're going to press into the left hand, the left knee, the right heel. Reach up with your right hand to lift the hips. And then you can bring your right hand up towards the top of your mat. Really getting a stretch right from the right side, fingertips to the toes, and then even back again. Coming all the way back down. Bring both hands to the mat, at the front of the mat, getting a little twist here. And then from here, we can do one, you can take child's pose, down dog, or you can do one last vinyasa with your coming to plank. Inhale, shoulders forward. Take your time with these poses, exhaling halfway or all the way down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. And then exhale back, downward facing dog. Nice big breath in. Lift the heels, bend the knees, and exhale to come to the mat. Roll over your feet, scooch the feet towards the center of the mat. And let's come down onto our backs. So as always, you have choice here. You can use your hands to support yourself, or you can reach the hands forward. You can keep your toes, your big toe mounts pressing into the mat, like actively pressing into the mat, or you can lift your shins and come to boat to come down. What everybody should be doing is tucking their chin into their throat and taking your time, controlling this descent down onto the mat. Coming all the way down, pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a hug. Let's bring the knees in tight, tuck the chin into the throat, hold on to opposite elbows or forearms, and start to rock around, like roll around here. Imagine you're like a turtle stuck on its back, and just roll around. And then when you are ready, you can open all the way out into Savasana. Heels to the far corners of the mat, palms face up, shoulders tuck in underneath you. Take a couple of breaths here. Stay as relaxed as you can. Just notice this energy moving through the body. Connect in with this energy. Have the wonderful knowledge that it's there and available for you in whatever way you need it today, in whatever way you choose to use it. You can wiggle into your fingers and toes, turn your wrists and your ankles, your head from side to side. Stretch into your feet, into the palms. And then bring your knees into your chest. From here you can choose how you want to get up. You can rock the length of your spine, keep your chin tucked, preventing the weight of your head from swinging around. Or if you like, you can roll to the side, one side or the other, fetal position. Take a couple of breaths here. And when you're ready, make your way up to a seated position. Finding length in your spine. Crown of your head high. Let's inhale the fingertips up overhead. As we exhale, thumbs to the third eye, reminding us that yoga is the union of the mind and body. Let's hinge forward. This is our final pose for this day. And I thank you for joining me. Namaste. I hope you guys feel really great this morning. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you feel amazing. I really love making these practices for you guys. So leave me a note in the comment. Let me know what you think. And let me know if there's anything you'd like to see in future videos. In the meantime, hit the subscription button and the little note button that lets you know every time I upload a new video. That way, you'll never miss a practice. Have an amazing day. Namaste.